How can you use your law of attraction to explore your pleasurable emotions? And that's what the last section is that I want to focus on. You've heard all heard the statement. I think they said it in The Secret, that you are the creator of your own destiny. That is a truth. That is actually a divine truth. But it's your soul condition that creates your destiny. So if you change your soul condition, you are changing all the future events. It's like dropping a pebble in a pond. When you drop the pebble in the pond, the pebble just doesn't hit the water and then go to the ground and nothing else happens, does it? What happens is you get these ripples going out right to the edge of the pond, and the pebble might have only been tiny, and yet the ripples are felt right at the edge, right? And it's the same with your life. Every single tiny thing that you change in your life at the soul level is like a new pebble being dropped into the pond. And your whole attraction will change as a result of that. Everything will change if you allow it. But these are not intellectual pebbles. These are feelings, passions, desires. So, how do we develop it? Well, step one, what does it say? To develop or grow your soul desires harmonious with love. Sorry about that. Now, in The Secret, they suggest that is the process of asking. So in other words, when you ask, there's often it was said, and again it's a quote from what I said in the first century, and that is, if you ask, you shall receive. But see, again, most people don't understand that. It's what you ask for at the soul level. So it's the soul condition that's asking. Right? So if I can be more specific, it's actually developing or growing your soul desires that is causing the asking. Now, you can develop or grow your soul desires in a completely negative way, can't you? Like, you can develop your soul desires to become a murderer and really become quite good at it. Right? There's been people in history that have done that, and they've murdered millions of people as a result of their desire. Right? That's not what I'm suggesting, because that's not going to bring you happiness. Right? What's going to bring you happiness is when you grow the soul desires that are harmonious with love. And if we want to even be more expressive, the ones that are harmonious with divine love are going to even be greater in their power and their blessings and their bliss than the ones in harmony with natural love. So you can develop your desires there. That's step one. So is a desire to have a good relationship with your partner a harmonious with love desire? Well, it could be. It might not be, because you might do it using methods that are untruthful. So I'm not suggesting you do that either. In other words, you might not tell your partner the truth, and that's how you have a good relationship. Because he's only hearing good things about himself, and he never hears anything that is in error about himself, and so I'm not suggesting that either. I'm suggesting that the stuff that's going to bring you the most bliss in your life is when you are going to do this harmonious with love and truth. Alright? And it's the "and" truth that most of us have problems with, isn't it? We're happy when we think about love. When we think about truth, we often become quite unhappy, because often we don't even know what the truth is, or we do know what the truth is, but we're afraid to say it. But honestly, if you develop and grow the soul desires harmonious with those things, what will happen is your life will change very rapidly to becoming a blissful and happy life. You will go through lots of emotions in the process, very rapidly, if you do that. All right? What's the next step? Step 2? Let's just call it, have faith that it's going to happen. Trust that it's going to happen. Have faith. Having faith is very interesting. You can create faith as well, by the way. Now let me put it in a really probably crass illustration, but let's say for a moment, some of you guys here, how many of you would love to have a sports car in your life? A few of you? Yes. I was one of those, by the way. I didn't have one, so I can't. This is why it appeals to me. Imagine for a moment that you would like to get a new Lamborghini Gallardo. Does anyone know what that looks like? Yeah, a lot of people know. But imagine that. Now, I'm not suggesting that's harmonious with divine love, because the truth is it isn't harmonious with divine love. A car pollutes, so straight away it's not harmonious with divine love, right? But anyway, let's say it's harmonious with my desire, and I can lose my law of attraction in this manner. So, I desire this vehicle. How can I build my desire? Well, I could actually start thinking about myself driving the car, couldn't I? I could even more powerfully go to a place where I could test drive the car and actually sit in the car. Can you see how the more emotional things I do, the greater my desire is going to become? Now let's look at some desires harmonious with love. One of them, I know many of you are thinking you want to teach these truths to others, right? So many of you are afraid of that. But if you exercise your desire harmonious with love, you will want to teach, probably. So start picturing yourself teaching for a moment and allow yourself to work through some of those emotions that cause you to feel afraid of that. Then actually put yourself in a position where you get 10 people in front of yourself and you start telling them the truth and see what happens. Let the law of attraction bring you and refine you in this manner to actually grow this desire. Do you follow me? Allow yourself to follow that. Another desire you might have might be to actually create an environment where people can come to deal with their emotions. So start growing that desire. You might not have any money to do it. And the truth is you don't need any. Because, you know, God's laws don't operate around money. Do we get that? What's money? A piece of paper that man's created for man's economic system. God's laws don't operate around them. So the truth is that if you have a soul desire to do something, you don't need money to begin it. You just need the desire. And when the desire comes, everything else that you need, and if money is one of those things you need, that will also come. Does that make sense to everyone? This is how faith works. Have faith that this is going to occur. But the third thing you need to do is, and that's the same as what the secret says, is to allow I before E except after C. Allow yourself to receive. You know, one of the biggest problems that we have is that we ask for something, we feel like we believe we're going to get it, the very next day it's offered to us in a completely foreign form that we would ever normally allow ourselves to receive, and so what do? We reject it. And God just went, oh, doesn't she know that I've given her everything she wants right now, right? And yet often this is what happens, right? And the reason why is often what God gives us is not in the guise, in the outward appearance of what we think it should be. So, you know, you may be asking for some truth and you may think you're going to get it from me, but in reality, tomorrow, your 3-year-old child may give you that truth. But because it's not coming from the person you wanted it to come from, what might you do? Reject it. That's really sad. See, if we're humble, what we'll do is we'll receive the truth in whatever guise it comes. Can you see that? So allow yourself to get into a condition where you're willing to receive. Now that takes working through a lot of emotions of unworthiness. Can you see that every emotion of unworthiness I have inside of me is going to affect my ability to receive something that is good, including love.